Hey Aries, it's Vera with your early September reading. This really goes from kind of the new moon energy in Virgo that was last Friday evening, August 30th, through to the full moon in Pisces on um, September 14th. But this really is, anytime you find this, if it has relevance to you, then it does. We are in the wake of this new moon, which featured a grand trine in Earth. And that means that we have the opportunity to really ground, to like inhabit and ground a lot of renewal and change in our lives. So I want to look at where you have the opportunity for exaltation, what needs consecration in your life, and then also what these planetary energies are offering you. So for the for Uranus and Taurus, I'm going to draw a card for what needs to be consecrated from your past, and by consecrated I mean like lived within as sacred and perhaps almost ceremonially renewed. I mean, you can think of your daily habits as ceremony. You can think of your daily clothing as costume. I mean, all of this is herald activity and information. Anyway, look at this, the Ten of Pence and the Ten of Wands. So it's the ways in which you feel secure and it's the ways in which you feel burdened, that these need to be readjusted. I mean, you shouldn't feel burdened. You shouldn't need to feel burdened in order to feel secure. Those two things are not equivalencies. Okay, so where does Aries need change that is... Oh, wow. So it's asking you to trust the Wheel of Fortune. It's asking you to trust. Not so much, and this might be a little hard for you, sweet Aries, but not so much in your own will as in the will of the universe. Which the motion of the universe, which is love, okay? Emotion of love. Look at this, like they're all reading their Akashic records, but this is a time of great change. Another thing that just happened astrologically or physically is we went through the Sirius gateway that we always do in August here on Earth, but the way it was formed, or the manner in which that happened in time and space, it means that we're starting a new 13,000 year or 1300 year, I think 1,000-year cycle, whatever, a huge new cycle of rebalancing, which some are saying, is like kind of recalibrating the masculine and the feminine. Not that the feminine will become dominant, but just that to me what it's really about is like recalibrating these things that we've understood as polarities and understanding that they're not really polarities, and that's reintegration and recalibration of just the ways that we experience ourselves as archetypes, as a hodgepodge of archetypes that you relate to. That's part of how you define yourself, at least in your human experience here on Earth. Okay, brother, that's the will of the cards over my own will. Okay. Oh my gosh. So talk about a sweet recalibration, Aries. It's a way of coming into human relationships on Earth that is equal, that is tender, that is so it's the consecration of this change in the way that you inhabit your most intimate relationships. Okay, Aries. And then Saturn in Capricorn, which is basically sort of how to ground these things, like the structures that we can build in order to live our lives joyously. Justice, and magic, like our balance, and then our ability to create. I love this deck. In this deck, even the Ten of Wands, which you started with from the old Rider-Waite, even the Ten of Wands looks like fun in this deck because it's pinwheels. So that we can take joy in the works that we do. We can take joy in our labors. We can take joy even in the kind of difficulties that sometimes come up in relationships. We can take joy in it as like it's learning, and if there is enough love there, which, you know, you need to be in a relationship where there's just an endless amount of love. That's why we all need to follow our hearts into our own soul's true shape, so that we all may inhabit those types of relationships and, you know, be part of the healing and recalibration of our own sweet planet, which we are a part of, which we are of, and act as. Queen of Cups. So perhaps there's something to do with a mother figure in your life. A release in this tender light of September in the sun in Virgo, the Virgin Mother, these ideas of what women are supposed to be, daughters or mothers. Just to feel the love that permeates even when some of the structures that may have been made or we may have been born into make it the give and take of love. It can make it difficult, and it can make it confusing, and it can make it a little bit out of balance or unaligned, but there's still love there, and it is the love that's still there that will help each of us find the alignment and create the society in which we all may live in our own soul's true shape, and joyously and celebratorily with each other in this divine light, on this divine planet, drinking this gorgeous water and breathing this beautiful air, and being tender in our thoughts and in our bodily habits, our habits of mind and our habits of body and our habits of relationship. XO to you, dear Aries.